Hello everyone. Today, for my first video under a new channel name, I'm going to be doing an album, not just an album review, but a full discography review. For those of you who don't know what album reviews are, if you've never heard of them, they're kind of like introspective thoughts on people's favorite music. If you watch like Anthony Fantano and you don't like that he cusses a lot, this will be an alternative choice. All my videos don't swear. This is my first video, but I wanted to kind of point that out, that I don't swear in my videos, and I preview the music I listen to or hear about before I make a review on it. So those are two things that I do. And number three, some people might not like this kind of music because it's not normal music. And the reasons I say that is because it's what you'd call autism music, which means it's very repetitive and noisy. So I figured I'd do my first discography review, on a guy called Byproduct. If you don't know who he is, most of you may know him as Chris TTT currently. That's his current alias that he is using to release music in the vaporwave genre. Byproduct was I think, sort of discontinued, but I don't think he will discontinue it. It's not that popular, but some people do like it. I'm one of those people. So, John, if you're watching this, I really love your music. You need to bring this guy back. Or this alias back, sorry. So, I'm gonna go in order here. Now, just a disclaimer, some of the albums on here are missing. In fact, earlier today I was on Discogs, and I found, if you can see, that's Equal. There's a B-Sides album that isn't there. I just found out about that today. So if anyone knows where they can find that album, let me know. Because I honestly have no clue where to find the actual streaming of that album. My guess is that he's gonna re-upload it sometime. I don't know for sure. He rarely re-uploads. And when he does, it's usually his old stuff. But it'd actually be pretty cool, to see the B-sides and remixes of that album. Yes, there is B-sides and remixes. I'm not making that up. It's a real thing. The album cover is a little bit different, though. It's called Plus, which is basically like the redone versions. It's got the early versions, it's got the B-sides, it's got the remixes, a couple of bonus tracks. So, some of these albums I'm gonna skip because they're either mainstream music or they have some explicit language in them. Let's start with Equal, because that was the one I just mentioned. Sorry, my computer is being a little slow. So, let's start with... I'm going to skip some of these tracks because I don't really like some of these tracks. It's not that they're explicit, it's just that I don't like the rhythms and stuff, some of them. So the first one I'm going to do is my personal favorite, Trumpets and German Doctors. I'm only going to play a small portion of it because even though it is really just a chopped loop, I don't want to get copyrighted. And I know what the fair use terms are. I don't want to get in trouble because I don't want people thinking this is my work. It is not my work. I am not John Zobele, so don't go crediting me for someone else's work. So, anyway, yeah, here we go. So you can see it's a trumpet. It's a trumpet, as the title says, Trumpets and German Doctors. It just repeats itself, and then later on you'll hear some drums. So my thoughts on that track are it's very weird. Not like weird like bad weird, but it's just interesting because most of Byproduct's music is like really choppy and loud. This is one of the very few tracks, and you'll see later on, that is just a simple loop with another simple loop on top of it. That's not often that you'll hear that in this particular alias of John Zobele. So that's really interesting. Gonna go down a little farther because some of these tracks are a little too long, and some of them are just not that good. Not like crappy, but like just like they're just really kind of I can't understand the lyrics. They're not. I don't know if I don't know. That's the thing with him. So next up, I'm gonna do Get Away From Me, not Get Away With Me. Sorry, Get Away From Me. Um, Spoiler: there's going to be a duck sauce sample that you'll hear later in the track. It starts with a couple of beeping noises, and the beeping noises repeat, and then the duck sauce Barbra Streisand sample kicks in later. So you got the beeping noises. Here comes duck sauce, Barbra Streisand. You get the idea. It just repeats itself. A couple of tracks on here. I'm not gonna play them, but a couple of tracks. Um, they build up a couple. They build up one song over another song. Usually in a chopped up format. Usually something like Prefuse 73. I don't know if you guys know who that is. A lot of his songs, especially in his early albums, used a particular Prefuse 73 Prefuse 73 track called Seventh Message. Um, you might recognize it in his later albums. It's used a couple of times in the Esta album, most notably in um, I think it's This Could Be a Beautiful Thing. I think that's the track. The same clip is used in other song that I'm not going to mention the title because it's kind of not an okay title. Um, I was gonna. Here's the second track on Equal, Fist Hits Face. This is a little weird one. This is got a Kraftwerk sample in it, and a later on you'll hear a chopped up, sped up sample from Carl Douglas's Kung Fu Fighting. So not the Kung Fu Panda version, but it's the original version. You'll hear it. You'll hear the Kung Fu Fighting. It takes a little while. In case you're wondering why it says Beat Up 2, um, that's a reference to an early track he made on the Night album, which isn't on here. I don't know why. Um, which also it's basically an early version of Beat Up. It starts with the Embassy Home Entertainment logo, and then goes into just a regular loop of a regular speed loop of the opening to Kung Fu Fighting. You know, oh, oh, oh. You get it. Um, you get it. It's just, it's. Oh, sorry, dropped my phone. It's a little goofy, but it's. I guess this is what autistic kids like to listen to. I have autism, so I like it. That's one of the reasons I like this guy. Um, some of his later next four albums. I really want to do Chapter 2 Death, but I think that'd be a little too morbid. I'm going to do next. By the way, this is not scripted. I don't like scripting my videos because it makes it sound like I'm acting like something I'm not, and I don't like that, so. Sorry if I sound like I'm... Sorry if I forget something or say something stupid. This is my first video on a new channel. My old channel, Caden Krupp, was just a bunch of cell phone videos. So I thought I'd try something different. So this next album I'm going to do is Dad's Camera. That's actually him on the cover. I don't know if you can see it. That's him. I don't know where that was taken, but that is him. I can tell. I've seen pictures of John Zobele now. Now he has like long hair, and he's into vaporwave now. But he looks a little bit the same around the face, but he has like long hair, so it was kind of hard to tell. It was kind of hard to tell at first when I first looked up Byproduct's discography, but so the first track I want to do is it's not the first track on the album, it's the 6th track on the album, but it's one I really like, called Day Out. This has got a chopped up sample from Oh Yeah by Yellow. If you're a Ferris Bueller fan, you'll probably recognize it. And then there's a track by Mr. Oizo. I think it's a drum beat or something. It kind of sounds like a staticky, kind of heavily audio distorted drum beat from a track by Mr. Oizo called Nazis. I don't know why he named it that way. Mr. Oizo is pretty well known. Sometimes you may know him for stuff like Flat Beat, and he has that cute little puppet that he always puts in his videos. So, you may recognize the name. If you go on Who Sampled, you'll probably type in Nazis Mr. Oizo, and you'll see Day Out, and in that Day Out sampled that, as well as Oh Yeah by Yellow. There's Oh Yeah by Yellow. It's a little bit slowed down, chopped, but you can still recognize it. There's Nazis by Mr. Oizo. That's all I'm gonna play for you. It's not explicit or anything. I just don't want to get copyrighted. Okay. I'm gonna do Esta Extras. I don't know if this discography is in order, but from what it looks like it is. But Esta is one of the longest albums by Byproduct, so I'm gonna choose very carefully because I want to make sure that what I'm playing is number one, family friendly, and number two, what I'm looking for. Okay. Okay, there's the Prefuse 73 7th message. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's kind of has a creepy violin in the background. I think that's from another song. I don't know what it is though. There's one track on here that samples Coldplay, but since that's a mainstream artist, I don't want to get copyright strikes for that. The song is called The Scientist, by the way. You might have heard it, but it might not be recognizable. Some of Byproduct stuff is sampled from well-known songs, but they're not very recognizable, because he likes to chop them up and kind of make them into these very funny and kind of silly collages where you can't even understand what they're saying, or... So, yeah, kind of weird, but not weird in a bad way, just weird like, yeah, he's doing his thing, like, it's actually really good, like, it's really good music. I've shared Byproduct with my friends, and they really like it too, some do. GIF album. Now, I like this album, um, and so I'm gonna do a few tracks off of this album. The first track I want to do off of the GIF album is Our Money Interlude. I like this song. I actually sampled this song. In if you go to my SoundCloud, it should have a picture of a pebble people. There's some pebble people on a plate. I took that picture myself. It's literally just a loop of the ending to Our Money Interlude because that's my favorite part of the song. But it's literally the whole song was just some Indian song. I don't know the name of it, so if any of you know, let me know in the comments, because I do not know the name of it. I know it's Indian, but I don't know the name or the artist. So that would be very helpful. Okay, it's not the ending, but that is like I said, I'm going to play a few seconds of a song because I don't want to get copyrighted. Um, um, that's the only really track I like off of GIF, so, let's see what else I can find. From Byproduct. Come on, stupid. Sorry, my computer's being super slow. I apologize. Next up, I'm gonna go up a little bit more to the album Star. Keep in mind that I'm kind of keeping the video a little bit short, but I also want to get as much discography in as I can. So I want to make sure that because there's some tracks that are kind of explicit and have a lot of explicit titles, but the lyrics are barely recognizable, but the titles themselves are a little bit weird. So the first track I'm going to do is the second track off of Star, called Merrill Merrill. This song is comprised of different parts from the song Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. If you're a fan of, if you've seen that video where the guy that I think he's Spanish, I think he's Mexican or something. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just saying, like, I'm assuming he's from Mexico. He's on the skateboard and he has that what is it, cranberry juice, I think is what it is. I think it's like Powerade or vitamin water or something. He's listening to the original, not the Byproduct version. Nobody really knows who Byproduct is, but like I said, he does use well-known songs and then mixes them up and makes it so you can't even recognize what he's sampling. So here we go. So yeah, there it is. The whole song is literally just from beginning to end, just different snippets of Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. I want to read the description on this album because that kind of explains my point a little bit better than I could. The album Star is the 6th full-length album and the first to be made in FL Studios since the first album. I don't know if he has the first album on Bandcamp. Some of his tracks are like missing, like some of his albums are not even there. The only way I could find some of the missing albums was on Discogs, but they won't let me stream it on there. I don't know why. Like I said, I tried to find the MP3s for Plus, which is the B-sides to Equal, which is what I played earlier. The album cover is literally the same. It's just yellow with a black plus instead of yellow with a black equal sign. But it would be pretty easy to tell that, hey, this is the alternate version of Equal. So So yeah, there's Star. Um, he does have Star B sides in there. So I'm wondering if he's gonna re-upload some stuff. He might. I don't know for sure. Cause cause John recently did revive his Father 2006 stuff. He did do a project back in 2020 where he just put out a new album. He also got an Apple Music account on both on his Chris TTT alias and his Father 2006 alias. I don't know if that'll happen to Byproduct. I hope it does, but I'm not sure. That would be really awesome, though. It is a really old project, but then again, I think you'll have to go through a lot of sample clearing. Probably have to dig up a lot of stuff out of the archives and go into probably a lot of court work just to make sure that it's all legal and stuff. But yeah, so what's the other one I wanted to do? So wrong one. QZ. So Q through Z is Q to Z. I think it's pronounced. I think it's Q to Z or Q through Z. It's just literally Q dash Z. Um, this is a basically all of the early test tracks that were later made into other albums, but these are like the early stuff, as Dank Pods would say, the early boys. You know, the early boys, man. Um, but yeah, so these are like really early short. They're really short because they're just like demo tracks. Um, so the first one I'm gonna do is Lesson. There's a drum loop in here, and then there goes kick, and then a sample from Gorillaz, "Dirty Harry," um, is in there. You will recognize it. It's just a straight loop. It's nothing chopped up, which is kind of like I said. Very few Byproduct tracks are actually legitimate looping. So here it is. I'm in. Here we go. There you go. There's the Dirty Harry. There's Dirty Harry kicking in. Slight tangent, but Lesson kind of reminds me of "Hello, I Ruined Music" by Patricia Taxon. Not only is they don't have they have the same pitch and the same speed. Um, they're kind of similar, but they used very different samples. Patricia Taxon is another artist, totally different person, but you might know who she is. I'll do an album on her later, and I'll do a discography on her later, a discography review on her later, and kind of revisit that and tell you what I meant by that. So there's Lesson off the QZ album. Um, One thing you might know is that John likes to make a lot of his aliases use samples used in previous aliases. Um, that's why a lot of the stuff by Byproduct has been cross-referenced in other John Zobele aliases like Chris TTT. He used a sample from Cave of the Past / The Place, which was earlier used in his Byproduct alias on the track Sexual Favor. I know that sounds like a weird title name, but it's on the I don't remember the Chris TTT version, but I do know that it's sampled. I looked it up on who sampled. It was on the Alone Online album. I know that one. It's the yellow and red one with the weird creatures. I don't know. My mom dislikes Chris TTT, so I don't listen to him. But well, I have listened to him before, but he was one of my favorite aliases back in middle school. Unfortunately, I won't do a review on that alias, but I will do other stuff similar to him. So there you go. Here's my first video. Um, Sorry if I sound like I'm depressed. I wanted to give an honest review without kind of being mean or trying to crack jokes or anything like that. So yeah, if anyone's watching, let me know. Um, I'm very excited to see what people think. Um, Hopefully, I can start getting a band camp put together for me soon. A lot of the albums you'll hear me talk about will be sampled in my music, depending on if they're clean albums with no bad words or not. Because, just like Jack Pop says, yeah, you say a bad word and you're gone for the semester. Sorry, that was a joke. That's a Bully Busters reference. But anyway, hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.